Hello and welcome. My name is Madeline Longoria Garcia, and these are our other stories. Today on the podcast, we have Yvonne Hernandez, who is a mama of three, a Reiki master, a Chopra certified meditation teacher, sound practitioner, movement maker, and so many things. And I'm so happy and excited to have her here. Yvonne, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Gracias. Thank you so much for the invitation. What an honor. Loving your podcast. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, this is something I've shared a few times, I think, on this podcast. Like, I've been thinking about this for years and years and years, and the idea behind it has changed and evolved with me over the years. And it really was in the last year and a half now that I was like, I gotta actually just do this. Like, it needs to happen. And just wanting to pull people in who I have encountered in my life that I'm like, you're really freaking cool. You have some crazy history and stories and backgrounds that people don't know about. And I just want, it's just like an invitation of come on and talk about this stuff. Like, we don't get to talk about this stuff that often. And so, yeah, why not do this?
Love it. Thank you.
Yeah. And this, thank you. I know that you've listened to several of the episodes and that you were following along in the first season. And now in this second season, the goal has been just highlighting Latina voices in my community and the folks who I know, and bringing you all on just to talk, right? And there's this theme, this thread of our commonly shared identities of Latinidad, and we just touch on everything from growing up in our households and the music and television shows and everything that we were surrounded by, and also talking about Ritzy, nonlinear career paths that we have taken throughout our lives, and the way that life throws curveballs at you. And it's not, we're not here just to talk about being Mexican American or Salvadoran American or, whatever. It's just a conversation to have us, hanging out and chatting about things.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Miss Yvonne, we've known each other for 4 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And you have, when I first met you, you were from the beginning, you very strongly stated, this is my goal of what I want to do. Mm-hmm. And it has evolved and grown so much. And I also feel like, and I want you to share of what this goal is through your own words, but it's been so cool to see you not just going after it, but also the way that you've kind of evolved with this too. I feel like in the beginning there was a very I don't want to say timid, but maybe not so sure where to start. And then when you started, it was like, damn, it's going now.
Yes.
So yeah, can you share what your goal is right now in this season of life?
Yes. So I'm on a mission to teach meditation to 1 million children. And yeah, it definitely has stayed the same. So I've stayed the course. So we met 2021. Wow. Mm-hmm. July 2021. I think that was our first meeting. And it's been such a beautiful journey, being, with each other as we grow. And so actually February 2021 is when I received the message, I'm going to teach meditation to 1 million children. And so a little backstory with that. So I have 3 children. And so now they're 16, 14, and 11. Well, way back when they were all under 5 years old, all 3 were under 5. That meant I slept very little, low energy,
Yeah.
constantly frustrated and just trying to just survive, right, on fumes. And I didn't know what self-care was. I didn't know, prioritizing myself. I didn't know what fill my cup was. Like, I had no concept, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I did hear a beautiful quote by the Dalai Lama where he says, if every 8-year-old in the world is taught meditation, we will eliminate violence within one generation. And it
Yeah.
just touched my heart. And it still like makes me emotional because that means my kids have the opportunity to witness world peace with all the chaos that's happening right now, in the current state. And um, it's just nuts,
Yeah.
and it even makes me cry because it's just really nuts. What if the leaders of the world that are making these horrific decisions took a deep breath? What if they meditated? What if they just took a pause? What if they just slowed down a bit, right? It would be so different. So different. This
Yeah.
world would be so different, right? And so I had this seed planted. And so trying to figure out, okay, well, where do I learn? The school, the money, the timing, logistics, and my kids, and all the things. It just wasn't, at the time, but it was still in the back of my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day, I was, during COVID, we all grow Latina, the beautiful community we met through. They hosted a meditation 101 workshop, and it was hosted by the Chopra Center. And
Mm.
I learned that they have a school and they are teaching. And actually, one of my amigas there, she mentioned, "Oh, I'm enrolled in the meditation teaching certification program." Like, wait a minute. What? Oh my gosh, this is a sign. When the student is ready,
Yeah.
the teacher shows up. So I enrolled, and then February 2021, I became a certified meditation teacher through the Chopra Center. And soonly after I graduated, I received that message. I'm going to teach meditation to 1 million children. I'm like, yes, I am. Yes, I am. And it didn't feel like a challenge. It didn't feel like, what the heck? Like, how in the world? Or
Yeah.
like nothing like that. It just felt true. And
Mm-hmm.
and even before that, actually, 2017, I started volunteering, teaching meditation in my kids' school. So this is before any training, any certification. It was just
Oh.
intuitively guided, something I wanted to do for my kids' classroom because at
Huh.
that time they were going through a construction phase, meaning third grade was placed into bungalow classrooms, which are tiny, and these are
Mm.
third graders.
Mm-hmm.
They need space, right? They're bigger now. They came from this really beautiful open space classroom to a closet, and my son
Mm-hmm.
was struggling. I knew something was wrong, and finally figured out that it was the classroom. He just didn't like to be in there. He felt claustrophobic.
Yeah.
And I figured, you know what? If he's struggling, I'm sure the other students are struggling. So I just reached out to his maestra, his teacher, and I asked, Miss, can I come in and do a short meditation, maybe some breathing exercises? And I am so grateful to her that she said yes. And so I started going every Friday. It was beautiful to see, the changes in the kids, knowing that they have tools now to help them with their emotions. I mean, these are
Yeah.
children. If we don't teach them, if we don't give them tools, how are they going to cope through childhood and then adulthood, right? And it just was beautiful. And then during that time, I was posting, on my Facebook, "Oh, today's meditation, we are going to the jungle and we're going to space and whatever." Like, I would give like little hints of what I was doing, right? One of my friends, she said, "What is this meditation thing that you're doing? Do you no longer believe in God?" I'm like, what
Mm.
are you talking about? And so
Hmm.
I figured, you know what? I'm grateful for that question, because if she is thinking this and she was brave enough to ask me, what if there's parents that are nervous to ask, or
Yeah.
maybe they'll say, you know what, I'm taking my kid out. I don't want them to change. I don't want her to change my child's religion or something, off like that, right? Like, it doesn't make
Yeah.
sense, right? But that's not what I'm doing. That is not my intention. And that's not what meditation is about.
Mm-hmm.
And so my intention is to equip these children with tools to help them cope with the current situation that they're in. a closet of a classroom. Like,
Yeah.
that is challenging,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it just started evolving from there. And from there, I decided, you know what? I'm going to create a podcast, a 5-minute bilingual meditation podcast, so parents can know, and anyone else, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm talking about. And it just turned into this beautiful idea where even the adults were listening at work because they're
Mm,
so stressed out at work. And even if they don't speak
yeah.
Spanish, they said that they were able to focus on my translation, and they were able to let go of this long list of chitter chatter and all the things to do. And, you know, and they were able to calm down and take a breath
Yeah.
and be present just for 5 minutes. And it made a world
Yeah.
of a difference for them as well. And I'm like, wow, I'm onto something here. So
100%.
right. And so then, fast forward, you know, I went to the workshop, then I graduated, I received the message. And so now moving forward, it's just been this beautiful journey of, trying to figure out, okay, how do I reach this goal? How do I reach this goal without depleting myself I'm like, it's 1 million children. How am I
Yeah.
going to do this? Right. I'm like, I'll figure it out. I want to be efficient with my time, yet be present with my children, with their activities also. They're still young. And so trying to be creative, reaching out to schools and to organizations,
Mhm.
doing virtual events. And so now I host monthly free meditations every month. And just 15 minutes, let's come and breathe and meditate together with the family. Sometimes I'll have guest meditation teachers. And one of my friends, she did her meditation in English and in German. It was
Oh,
beautiful.
nice.
And
Yeah.
then I had another friend who did a yoga and meditation, and she's in the U.S. Virgin Islands. So how beautiful to
Wow.
collaborate with someone, not in the US, like here in the
Right.
continent, right?
Yeah.
But like, wow. And so I have more coming up, and eventually I would love to offer these meditations in as many languages as possible, invite teachers
Yeah.
that speak many languages, because there's children everywhere, all around the world, right? And so that's kind of what I'm up to.
Wow.
I've definitely passed 2,000. I'm probably probably at 2,500. Actually, I stopped counting. I got so busy, but I just need to put
Oh,
my numbers
yeah.
together. But
I mean, it's hard too, though, to really know, especially with like the podcast, right? And knowing like, well, how many people are taking all of this in and participating and listening. And I mean, so there's a few things there that you shared that I didn't know before. I didn't know that you had started doing this at your kid's school in 2017. And so back then, were you already like a Reiki practitioner and Reiki master
no,
back then,
that
or
I also
no?
did during the pandemic. So I did meditation and Reiki
Okay.
during the pandemic. Hmm.
So where did that come from? That idea of like, I'm going to start doing meditation. Did you already have like a pretty strong meditation practice for
No, I
yourself, or
knew.
yeah.
So I had heard about meditation, and during that time where all my littles were under 5, I heard about meditation and started listening because I heard meditation can help you rest. Like, you
Mhm.
can sleep, right? But sometimes you don't feel rested. And I needed rest,
Yeah.
even with the 4 hours of sleep, 5 hours of sleep, that I was getting, because I'm on call 24/7 with these kids, right?
Yeah.
And I just needed something to help me feel rested so I can function the next day. And meditation was a game changer for me. And actually, even more of a game changer, going even further back, let's say 2002, I think that's when I started a laser hair removal therapy. I was in Texas at that
Oh,
time. And
okay.
because I just didn't want to shave anymore.
Yeah.
And, but they did disclose that, 1 in 1 million, or whatever that number is, the pigment could change on more melanin people, or
Yeah.
darker,
Yeah.
pigmented people. And so I'm the 1 in 1 million.
Mhm.
Yeah, my underarm started changing to white. Actually, if you're whoever's watching video, My underarms
Oh,
are still
yeah.
white, but my color is coming back.
Mm.
And my elbows used to be bright white. Now they're beautiful brown.
Wow.
The back of my neck was bright white.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
brown. Uh, and so this had a lot to do with changing the way I go about life, no longer watching the news, movies, stories, toxic people, uh, products, even just shampoo, deodorant, like legit clean products. Not, oh, it's got botanicals and it's vegan and it's
Yeah.
cruelty free. That means nothing. It has to
Yeah.
have clean ingredients. I started learning, diving in into what ingredients are in our products and how bad they are. I mean, they
Yeah.
get absorbed into our bloodstream and causes so many things, which causes it's a type of stress on our body and our nervous system. So that was definitely messing with me. And so
And so that
2000
started in 2002.
so 2002 I started the laser hair removal. In 2003, that's when I got married, moved to Texas. I mean, moved
Mhm.
from Texas to California, got married, new life, new family, new friends, like everything new.
Yeah.
So it's a big shocker, right? And
Yeah.
then about a year later, more or less, I'm trying to figure out when it was, but I continued the laser, but it was a different type of laser hair removal. And the one here in California was more like rubber bands on your skin. So that's like definitely
Mm.
a stress. And my skin color started changing. I started getting white spots
Mm.
under my underarms. And so I let them know and I said, hey, look, this is what's happening. They increased the intensity
Whoa.
and I'm like, what the heck? But I'm like, okay, I can no longer go. Like, this is really messing with me. My skin really started changing. I started getting more spots, like I had on my neck, above my eyebrows.
Even though you didn't have the treatment in these areas,
Exactly. I
like the laser.
only had
Yeah.
it in my underarms and bikini area, but spots were coming
Yeah.
out all over my body. And now as I reflect back, I know it was a combination of things. It was the laser was basically the straw that broke the camel's back
Yeah.
because I was moving, from one state to another, leaving my comfort, my home state, my
Yeah.
family, my everything, right? To like now a new life, starting fresh, right? And I thought I was fine. I was so excited. I'm like, wow, I'm going to Southern California, like the beach and this and that, right? But my body was in shock. And so the
Yeah.
laser, I feel, was like a way of warning me, like, you need to slow down. And I'm trying to do all the things and be active and find a job. And then 5 years later, become mom. So then it definitely spread on my body because that's a whole other stress on,
Yeah.
on
Oh, for
you.
sure.
Um, and so I ended up going, on this downward spiral of negative thoughts. And I hated my skin. I was really unhappy. I was angry. I was depressed. I was frustrated. I was embarrassed. I was ashamed of my skin.
Mm.
I couldn't wear, the sleeveless, shirts. I couldn't wear my
Mm.
hair up. We go to the desert and it's like, I'm wearing my hair down because I was trying to cover up and like 3/4 sleeves and I'm melting.
Yeah.
I'm burning up, but I just
Yeah.
didn't want to show my skin. But it took time, right? I feel like I needed to go through that process and learning how, like, my body can change so much, right? Like if I allow it, if I give it the time and the space to do so. And so it took some time for me to remember. And I remember even praying, why me, God? Why me? Like this doesn't make
Hmm.
sense. I'm so embarrassed. Like I can't even function. All of a sudden one day my prayer went from why me to, okay, God, this has to be a blessing in disguise. Show me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Show me what I need to know. And it's been this beautiful journey of learning. And actually, I feel like it's remembering holistic
Hmm.
practices because my great grandmother is a healer in my family. My mom's grandmother, She was the healer in the rancho. She went through a very traumatic experience, and so a lady in the rancho helped her, healed her, saved her life, and so she learned from this lady. She was forever grateful, right? Like, wow, she saved her life. Learned from this lady, the local curandera, and so my great grandmother became the local curandera of the ranchos, healing with herbs and whatever
Wow.
was around, right? And just intuitively guided. And I remember, and my mom, shares stories of her never being sick as a child. She's like, we never had to go to the doctor. We were always fine. There was always a remedy for
Hmm.
something. Abuelita, would make this, and sobaba over here, and would use this to like massage on whatever it was, and they were fine. She's like, I never had to go to the doctor until she got married, and then all the things started happening, right? But whatever, right? But um but just remembering how, like, it's in my DNA, this holistic
Yeah.
practices, right? Being intuitively guided to things, and taking these steps, right, to go back to what it was and embrace now these beautiful holistic practices. And it makes me think how, I was raised Catholic, and
Hmm.
there was always this, like, once I started learning more, and even with Reiki, right? I have this beautiful teacher, my mentor. She says these are ancestral practices. Energy work is ancestral practices. Meditation is ancestral. Yoga is ancestral. Like, it's not a new
Hmm.
thing. Like, you should not be ashamed or embarrassed or feel like it's a bad thing. And so I had some work to do with that, because I could hear, like, oh no, eso es del diablo, this is
Yeah.
evil, and
Oh,
whatever. And I'm
yeah.
like, but it's not. Like, this is what helped healed my lineage. Like,
Yeah.
wow, like,
I
to think
mean,
if my great grandmother hadn't been healed, I wouldn't be here.
right.
Like, wow,
Well, I mean, and that is such a strong, strong, like, that is a piece of colonialism that has such a stronghold on our communities,
Yeah.
and it's not at its root, at its core. Catholicism is not bad, but the
Right.
way that it has been taught and this disconnection, I feel like there's been this growing disconnection between like the humanity piece, right? And I think, like, going back to your friend who was like, what is this meditation you're talking about? Like, have you forgotten about God? Or like, do you no longer believe in God? And it's like, meditation is just another word for prayer,
Hmm.
you
And
know?
it's like listening. You're,
And
you're praying, you're talking to God. You're meditating, you're
yeah,
listening to the messages,
yeah,
because we're like, pray, 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 please, 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 and you're off. Like, how about
right.
listen?
Yeah, yeah. And like receiving whatever is coming through versus just asking for something.
Mm,
And yeah, I mean, I think that through my own spiritual evolution and growth and everything, I've realized it doesn't really matter what word you put on there: God, universe, creator, whatever, you like, Mother Earth, whatever word, whatever name you want to place to that, we're all talking about the same thing essentially.
right.
And it's all still for, again, at the core, at the root, it really is just about like the good of all of us and all living beings. And so that's something that, because I mean, I grew up, I say like I had one foot in the Catholic Church because my household was kind of split and weird in a way. But I went to a Catholic elementary school. And so, yeah, I mean, I grew up around that, and at the same time always had one parent specifically who was not Catholic at all, not practicing Catholic at all, my mom. And she was just like, don't stress out about it too much. Like, be a good person,
Mm,
and I remember that specifically, her always just being like, just be a good person and you'll be fine. Like, just be good. Don't hurt people.
mm,
You'll be fine. And I feel like, I mean, I'm very grateful for that as an adult because I see how so many others like really struggle with the guilt, like the
Mm-hmm.
religious guilt, that Catholic guilt.
Mm-hmm.
And especially in the Latina community, like it is so, so strong. And yeah, there's a lot of shaming
Mm-hmm.
and guilt that comes around, that comes from those environments. And I just, yeah. Anyway, it's so interesting, right? Like that belief that when we start to explore spirituality in a different way, using different words, like there is this, yeah, almost this feeling of like, ooh, I shouldn't tell too many people about this,
Mm.
right? Because like, what are they going to think? But then also realizing this is the origin of indigenous peoples everywhere. Like this is how we lived. It wasn't even like a religious practice. It was just like how you lived, you know?
Yeah.
And returning to that, right? And like this, I love that. Like it's like this remembering because it is in your lineage. And like you said, like your DNA of your great grandmother, this is what she did. Um, and what a beautiful thing to have in your lineage and know that there's that connection there.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you know where your great grandmother lived? Like where was she born and raised?
I know it's Nuevo León area, so Linares
Okay.
and Monterrey area.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just curious. I'm always curious about that stuff. But yeah, okay. So you started then exploring this for your own well-being, really, in that like 2003, 2005-ish, and then when your kids were all being born and trying to maintain sanity
Yeah. Yep.
and get rest.
So yeah, it was like all these little pieces, then it would lead me to breath work. Oh, what is breath work? Oh,
Mm.
journaling. Oh, mirror work.
Mm.
Affirmations, like simple things now that I look back and I'm like how did I not know this? Like
Yeah.
what? How did I not know all of this, right? But you know what? There's a reason why, and it's all in divine timing and letting go of the but I should have, could have, whatever. Let that go.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's for a reason. I had to learn, I had to go through that in order to now be in this space, in this moment, to be able to share.
Well, and then recognizing, I mean, I feel like that's also such a great, I suppose, awareness for you to recognize, like when your child was going through this transition and struggling and recognizing, like, oh, I actually know this thing that might help.
Mm-hmm.
And I can help guide these children through this just a few minutes a day or a week or however often it was, and like knowing that there will be positive impacts from that. I mean, without having the official, quote unquote title,
Yeah.
but just knowing like, oh, I've done this thing and it
Mm-hmm.
helped me, and now I want to share this because I see that these kids, my kids, are struggling and having a hard time, and so let me now share this. And I'm curious too, then did you get feedback from parents at that time?
Yeah, actually, I mean, there were several, but there was one specific parent, and it was right before the Christmas winter break. And she said, "Are you the mom who's doing the meditations in class?" And I said, "Oh, yes." She's like, "Thank you so much. My daughter suffers from test anxiety. And ever since you've been
Um,
going, it's been helping her a lot." I'm like, wow, test anxiety in third grade? Like, that had
wow.
not even occurred to me, but like, this is helping even beyond just the thing that I thought was, you know, challenging
Yeah,
them,
causing stress.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I was like, okay, I'm definitely onto something here. So it just started evolving from there. So,
That's amazing. And that's like, yeah, what wonderful feedback to get to. And again, that kind of, it seems like that maybe cracks the door open a little bit more of like, oh, maybe I should keep exploring this and seeing what's going on the other side of this door. And like, yeah, that's so cool. I love that. And I also, during this time, because you talked about the vitiligo, is
Mhm.
that how you pronounce it also?
Yes.
Okay. And talking about like these different practices too, and not just the meditation, but really looking into what you were putting on your body and all of that. Did you already start to see some sort of like reversal progress or something during the same time, or did that come later? Because I know we've talked about this of like in more recent years really seeing a reversal happening. And
Mhm.
yeah, when did that all start for you
So
too?
it started slowing down once I
Mm,
stopped watching the news, stopped watching scary movies, anything that like I had to pay attention to what my body was feeling
yeah.
and then be like, oh, okay, that does not feel good. Let me step away from that. Oh, that doesn't feel good. Let me step away from that. The situation, the movement, the song, the whatever it is, right? Like even music, like the words, like even listening to words, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, what am I singing? What the okay. Dang it. I really like that song or like that beat. But when you listen to the words, you're like, oh crap. I can't listen to that
Yeah.
anymore. I don't want to
Yeah.
say that. I don't want to speak those words, right? So the vitiligo stopped from spreading, which was amazing. And I'm like, okay, I'm onto something here. But it wasn't quite reversing yet, which was like a win. And so then
Mm-hmm.
slowly I started, like, once I started getting into meditation, like listening to meditation, then I could kind of see, some areas. But when I enrolled in the Chopra Meditation Teaching Certification program, we learn how to do a silent meditation, the primordial sound meditation, which is mantra based, and the mantra is calculated by the date, time, and location of your birth. And so that is the
Hmm.
vibration of your soul. And it's like, the vibration when you were born. It's like, it's beautiful.
Mm.
And so it's based on Vedic philosophy. So there's 108 mantras. And so there's this whole calculation thing that happens. And then you receive your mantra, which is just for you to listen. You don't speak it out loud, it's just in your mind. And you use the mantra to help you go into silence. When your body is able to go into silence, your body is resting. So you have this restful awareness. And when you sleep, you have this dull awareness. So with the primordial sound
Hmm.
meditation, you have a restful awareness. And so as I went through the program, I really started seeing my melanin like speed up and come back. I mean, just
Whoa.
from like white, like seriously, my elbows were white, girl. Look, I mean, those I can see the
Wow.
video. And if you're not
Yeah.
watching the video, go watch the video. My elbows were white. Uh, it was insane. I had spots, on my arms, my legs. I have later on, I ended up getting stuff in my hands, and now I know that if I'm not taking care of myself, my body will show me. It's basically
Yeah.
yelling at me when the spots come up. And so it's been such a game changer to really pay attention to what my body is feeling. So every day throughout the day, I'm like, okay, how am I feeling? How am I doing? Like just checking in with myself. Because if I don't, then my body will definitely yell at me and a new spot will show up. And
Yeah.
so it's been a beautiful practice to see that my body can heal itself when I allow it and give it the space, when I allow my nervous system to calm down, to rest, to
Mm-hmm.
pause. And even
Mm-hmm.
learning, there's this book, You Can Heal Your Body by Louise Hay. And in that book, she has a section, I think it's in the back, but you can even just Google it. what Whatever it is that you're going through, like for me, it was vitiligo. What does this connect to emotionally? Like, what is that
Mm-hmm.
emotional? Because anyways, let me I guess let me explain what that is. So for me, when I looked up what vitiligo means, what that emotional connection was, is feeling you don't belong. And when I
Mm.
heard that, I was like, wow, nailed it. Because when I started to think about, I'm like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Yeah, I moved from Texas to California and I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, I don't belong in California. Like I don't have any friends here. I don't,
Yeah.
but I'm like, well, I'll figure it out. I'm going to make it my new life, right? But I still had this like deep sense of like, no, I don't belong here. And then like being amongst so many white people too, because where
Mm.
I'm from the border, Texas border. So it's like 90% Latinos and a few black
Mhm.
and a few Asian and a few white, right? And so that's what I'm used to. I grew up on the border, there's Latinos everywhere, majority Mexicanos,
Yeah.
and so moving to California, it's like, whoa, but I didn't
Because
realize
remind
that.
me, where in California are you based?
I'm
I
in
know you're in Southern California, but
I'm
you're,
in Orange
yeah.
County.
Yeah. Okay. Orange County's, yeah, very specific pocket of
Yeah.
Southern California.
So, I mean, where I was living at the time, I don't live there anymore, but in the city where I was at in Santa Ana, definitely a large population of Latinos. But then you
Sure.
leave to go to other places and you're like, wow,
Yeah.
like it's just that
Yeah.
pocket. It's the weirdest thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? So anyway, so just learning how, there's even emotional connections to the illnesses and diseases that are showing up on our body. So it's just really wild to like once you really start digging into the root cause of what's happening,
Mm-hmm.
wow. I mean, it's
Yeah.
your body telling you slow down or rest or breathe or, you know.
I mean, that's such an, so you know this. I recently moved to Portland, Oregon,
Mhm.
and this whole transition has been huge, and I'm actually thinking about like your story and my story. Like I got married last year at the beginning of last year, and here we are, a year and a half later living in a new state in a new city. I'm completely, I knew some people here, but I didn't have a very strong community here at all. So it's like I'm coming here and like starting over, and there is this in the back of my mind. It's like, okay, what can I do to just like take care of myself during this time too? Because this is such a huge transition, even though, and I remind myself, like, I have done this so many times. Like, my 20s, I moved so many times over and over again, lived in different countries, like different states, cities, all of this stuff. But there's something, I don't know, it feels different, I think, when you do it in your 30s also. And this huge, yeah, just like shift of everything. And similarly, like, where is the Latino population, Um, where can I find these people? And so, very intentionally looking for these spaces, finding the people, like connecting with the people where it's like, oh, these are my people. And I had also this experience earlier this year. I went to like a yin yoga and sound bath class. I think it was for the summer solstice. And I get home, and my husband and our two friends are watching a freaking horror movie, right? And I didn't realize it because when I walk in, like it's a very calm, quiet part. It's like still pretty early on in the movie. I'm like, what is this? And they like say the name, I'm like, oh, I don't know what this is. And they're like, oh, it's a zombie movie. And I'm like, this doesn't seem like a zombie movie. What are you talking about? And then it very quickly became a zombie movie. And I like felt my whole body respond to that, and like very low level, but like these body shakes almost, where it's like,
Mhm.
whoa, I'm having a physical response to this movie, and like this is not what my body wants at all,
Mhm.
like this is not what I want to be consuming, this is not what I want to be around. And yeah, it's something that ever since then, I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want to be watching these horror movies. I don't want to be watching these like or experiencing these things that are engaging my nervous system in a really heightened way, because it's
Mhm.
like we already have enough of that in our daily lives. Like I don't need to add to that,
Exactly.
you know? I already intake enough of that in the shit that's happening every day. I don't need to also then as my entertainment,
Right.
consume more of this. And it's really interesting. I think about that sometimes on like this, whatever, high, big, zoomed out view of like, why is our whole community and society like consuming this stuff that
Mhm.
is having us operate at this like really high vibration nervous system that like can never come back down and chill out?
Mm.
And this thought process of like, what is that doing to us as a whole? And then what would it be like if instead we chose to do some meditation or sit in the stillness and the quiet, just like sitting outside too, instead of choosing to turn on the television and watch whatever like scary movie or
Yeah.
other thing that is inducing anxiety. It's like, man, why is that what we default to? It's interesting.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I mean, again, just these are the things that I think about. And I think, again, like listening to everything you're sharing, like, damn, yeah, these crazy transitions and the body will tell us when something is wrong.
Mhm.
And there is going to be a physical manifestation of that in some way, whether it is just, like I said, my body shakes that were happening, or over time, what was happening with the melanin
Mhm.
your body. And so,
And we hold on to
yeah.
those stressors, that trauma, all that stuff we hold on to. I mean, and stuff from our ancestors too. We have their stress and their trauma
Yes.
in our DNA. And so, and then we're adding even more to it. Yeah,
Hmm.
not good.
And I'm actually going back to that too, with your family, knowing that this is also, through in your bloodline, in your lineage, with your great grandmother. Was there some understanding too with your family when you started exploring this? Because I wonder that conversation of, again, like what your friend's response was of like, God, you're losing God or whatever.
Mhm.
Like, oh, what was the family response to that? Or, yeah, what were those conversations like for you? If there was even one.
Not really. I mean, they're definitely very supportive. My mom definitely very supportive. Like she's so excited
Yeah.
about all the things that I'm doing. Like if I learn a new modality or a new experience, she's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, tell me more." It's like, "Oh, I want to do that." And so we've done some
Oh,
things together. And actually, when I did my Reiki training, she joined me. So we did all 3 levels together
oh,
via Zoom during COVID. So it was beautiful
right.
to be able to connect with her in that way and her sharing, her stories and experience. And now she's able to help, her friends and, family in the area as well. Um,
Oh my, so she practices too
yeah.
as a
So
Reiki master.
she practices as
Amazing.
Reiki master, which is so beautiful to be able to do that together. And and I was just thinking, right before the day before the class started, I had this feeling of like, ask mom, you gotta ask mom, you gotta ask mom, like tell her she needs to join you. And I'm like, I don't know, because like my mom goes to church every Sunday, and I just felt like I don't
Hmm.
know what she would say, like maybe that's like borderline, I don't, there was still that,
Hmm. Oh yeah.
that fear, right? I'm like, what if she doesn't like it? What if she doesn't let me? What if she's like frowns upon it? And like all these thoughts were going through my head. But still I kept hearing, ask her, invite her, tell her. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'm like, hey mom, what are you doing? I'm like, by the way, I'm gonna be doing this Reiki class. It's energy work. It's tomorrow morning. It's via Zoom. You want to join me? She's like, sure, okay. And I'm like, oh my gosh, well
Oh,
that was easy. I'm like, and it's been so beautiful. So now I'm like, I just tell her everything that I'm doing. I'm like, oh yeah, and I did this and I did that, and then this breathwork session, and this is what I experienced, and this is what I saw and I heard, and like all the things, and it's just so fun to share that with her, and yeah, it's been beautiful.
I love that. I mean, yeah, these like stories that we kind of tell ourselves and like getting ourselves all stressed out and anxious about something and then being like, "Oh, great. That was easy. I love that."
Definitely.
And yeah, But what a beautiful thing to be sharing with your mom too. Like what a yeah. I think that's so wonderful because it also, like you said earlier, it is, we hold on to the generational traumas and anxieties and the things that just are passed down. And there is real evidence of that. And so being able to go through this with your mom too, it's
Mhm.
like, I don't know, that feels like it's an even more powerful unfolding of things and
Mhm.
healing and yeah, discovering of just who you truly are and the place that you come from.
Yeah.
So
And it's helping
yeah.
to heal. So, there's this saying that when you heal and when you're working on your healing, you help to heal 7 generations back and 7 generations
Mm,
forward. And I'm like, whoa, we're double healing here, like my mom and I
yeah.
together. How beautiful. And another thought that have that I want to share is the word disease. So, dis-ease,
Hmm.
meaning your body is not at ease. So, next time you're feeling a symptom or something, just have the awareness, oh, my body is not at ease right now. What does my body need at this time? And as you start
Yeah.
asking yourself questions, listening to your intuition, to your guidance, you'll be led down the right path to help support your body with what it needs.
Our culture, our society tells us to just like keep pushing through,
Ugh, yeah.
and I think when we get sick, it's like, okay, just take the medicine and keep going.
Put a
Like,
band-aid.
don't slow down. Yeah, put a band aid on versus, okay, I am being told I need to slow down and nurture myself and nurture my body and just relax
Mhm.
for a bit, and it's such, I mean, that's capitalism at work, right? Like, don't slow down, don't stop, just take the medicine and keep going.
Hustle,
And it's just
hustle.
putting a band-aid over it. And the number of people who I know who just take medicine, like it take like Advil every day, just to function. And it's like, damn, that's,
Terrible.
yeah, like what, how have we gotten there? I feel like you and I could have a whole other conversation about that alone.
I'm like, I have a lot of thoughts.
But yeah, yeah, but it is, and I do understand. I want to say, like, I understand there is a time and a place for that too. I get there
Yes.
too, where it's like I've eaten, I have drank plenty of water, I've taken, I've had the tea, I've had the food, I've had this, I've taken a nap, and I still have this freaking headache. Okay, time to do something else,
Right.
because this isn't going away. But I would say 90% of the time, it's like eat the food, drink some water, drink some tea, and you're fine.
Mhm.
Like that's actually what your body needed.
Yeah.
Um, and so it is such an interesting, um, yeah, it's just again something that it's like we've created this disconnection again to like what is our body actually telling us and what would we learn if we just like listened a little bit and yeah, took in that information and took it to heart,
Yeah.
But okay, so I also want to ask, like, February 2021, you got the Chopra certification for meditation, and you in 2020 became a Reiki master, and then this message came to you of like, I'm going to teach meditation to 1 million children. And I remember you started again with the school, right? Like at your children's school
Mhm.
again. And going back there and doing that and then revisiting the podcast too, right? Because you had done the podcast previously and it had kind of paused and not done a lot there and then you restarted the podcast. And I want to say I love the bilingual because even for folks who don't speak Spanish fluently and they feel kind of like this disconnection because they don't speak Spanish fluently. Like for me, I just love listening to it because it's almost a way to learn some Spanish,
Yeah, in a way,
And
yeah.
Yeah, and I really enjoy listening to it because sometimes there are words that I'm like, oh, that's how you say that. Okay. Or just like phrases too, right? Because different phrases they translate differently. It's not
Mm-hmm.
a literal translation.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is something that I've even gotten out of those meditation recordings that you
Thank
have.
you.
Yeah, and I just it's such a beautiful way too, I think, to meet people where they're at, like, and that's another thing I wonder, your the schools where your children go, because you were saying that you did them bilingually there
Mhm.
as well. Is there a significant like portion of that school that are also Latino or they speak Spanish?
Yes, and it's a dual immersion school. So
Oh, cool.
that's how the idea came about. I'm like, oh, with a dual immersion school, then I could just translate and it
Yeah,
supports them that way too. You know, they're
100%.
practicing together while they're meditating and taking deep breaths. So yeah.
Yeah, that's
And I just
cool.
kept
I
it
love
and
that.
I kept it at 5 minutes because I kept hearing, "Oh, I don't have time, I don't have time." I'm like, "Girl, you got 5
Hmm.
minutes. You got 5 minutes. I'm sure you do."
Yeah.
And if you don't have
Oh,
5 and if
100%.
you don't have 5 minutes, well, you really need to figure out 5 minutes because
100. Yeah.
yikes, girl, yikes.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. We all have 5 minutes. We spend plenty more than that just scrolling on
For
all
sure.
of these different apps. Like, come on. Yeah. But prioritizing it, right? And that's the
Mhm.
key is like prioritizing something that is good for us and going to feed us versus deplete us.
Yep.
So tell us though, I want you to talk a little bit about decide balance and this whole evolution, which I feel like was such a big moment of you really stepping into owning this as like, okay, this is who I am and this is what I'm doing.
Yeah, so Decide Balance, it started off as the podcast, and now it's
Hmm.
evolved into a safe space for families to learn some tools to support them, the adults and the children through their everyday, to take a pause, and especially the children, and the children are going to see what the parents do. So if the parent is not taking a pause, and the parent's not taking a deep breath, and why should they, right? So I made it into a family space, a bilingual space. Eventually it'll be a multilingual space. And for many years, a lot of people said, you should make it into a nonprofit. You should make it into a nonprofit. But I do Reiki, I teach primordial sound, I do sound baths as well. So I do all these different things under the Decide Balance umbrella. I didn't want to make the whole thing a nonprofit. And so now I've created a nonprofit officially
Oh,
as of August 28th. And oh my gosh. Okay. So now that I've told you the story of my great grandmother, August 28th is her birthday, and that's when I registered the
wow.
nonprofit in her honor, which makes me
Wow.
emotional.
Yeah.
Like I have her guidance, and here we are, right? And so now I'm dedicating little Om breaths. And
Yeah.
so Om is because Om, of course, meditation, but Om is 1 million children, 1 million
Mm.
breaths, 1 million, one mindful world. So it's Om, all the
Mm.
OM, right? And so now I'm dedicating little Om breaths to teaching meditation to children, and so it's going to be a beautiful journey. I've also, and through Decide Balance, I've also started some merch, so that is exciting. I have some merch.
Mm.
The first T-shirt that is out is called "Behind Every Calm Child is a Calm Adult," which serves as a
Mm.
reminder for myself and all the adults out there, whether they're caregivers or it's the aunt, the uncle, the godmother, the neighbor, the teacher, the counselor, the principal, the adult, right, around a child. If you want a calm child,
Yeah.
you yourself also need to calm, find that calm within yourself. And it is available within us. That beautiful
Yeah.
calm exists inside each and every one of us. And so that was the inspiration for that shirt. And I have some calm stickers as well. One of them, designed several, but my favorite one, which is my original one, is a heart. So you trace it
Hmm.
going up to inhale, and then you trace it on the other side to exhale. And it's a
Mm.
textured sticker. So then it has that purpose also. The sensory part of the sticker helps, all kids, all people,
Yeah. I'm gonna
find the
yeah.
calm.
Mhm.
And so yeah, more things coming down into.
I wonder. I wonder. The
I
sun is
know
too
it's
bright.
so
Oh my
bright.
god. Okay, but I have this sticker here that's a heart, and it's llenarse, and so it's the full heart. There we go.
Nice there, yes.
And then vaciarse, so then it's the emptying heart, and it's just this like, yeah. I don't even remember where I got this sticker, but I've had it for years now, and it just sits on the side over here. But that's just reminding me. I was like, oh my gosh, the heart. Okay, yeah, and
So
like the filling and the emptying and the
cute.
breathing. So
Yes. I actually have
yeah.
I have my heart here. Well, this is the sticker version of it.
Mm,
So
hmm.
inhale, inhala, exhale, exhala. So I even made it into a
Yeah.
bilingual sticker.
Yeah.
So I made that into a calm sticker so it has texture. So it's exciting, like all these things I'm doing. I also created so another idea to be efficient with my time to get to 1 million children. I created World Children Meditation Day, May 15th, which is my birthday.
Yeah.
So I figured
Mm,
this is the legacy I'm leaving behind, and so why not on my birthday? And so now I had families joining from around the world, from Germany, from Guatemala, from Colombia, from Mexico, and across the US, joining me this past May 15th, 2025. And now it's established. So I'm excited to bring that to the world. And so many other ideas I have in mind.
yeah.
So yeah, follow me because I got a lot of ideas. I got a lot of ideas.
Yeah, there's so many. I mean, again, it's been so wonderful to see all of this like unfolding, and then even just through this conversation learning so much more of the backstory that I didn't know about. And I see how I love, again, the bilingual, the multilingual like access of just making this available for so many more people. One of the things like that came to me as you were talking about the different languages, I was like, man, how cool would it be to have some of this in different indigenous languages of the Americas as well, and having,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
opening that door and inviting those spaces, and even again, it being also not just to make it accessible to those communities, but also to be a reminder to everybody here of like, these are the other languages that exist
Hmm.
in the Americas and have existed here
Yeah.
for centuries, and we don't want them to go away either. We want them to continue to be taught and learned. And so, yeah, I think that's like another really beautiful way to like weave that in. And yeah, I think it's just we all need it. The whole world needs these kinds of things. And I feel like, especially in these times, like our communities really need this, of that
Mhm.
returning to ourselves and who we are, and being able to create the space and the time to regulate our nervous systems, because we are operating at these insane levels right now. And
Mhm.
it's a conversation that I've had with many people. Like, there's so many people who are just scared, and how can we help them get back to some sense of calm for a few minutes a day, and
Mhm.
just returning to that? And how can those of us who are safe and have a level of safety be the support for those people? Yeah, that's another thing that I just feel like I've been thinking about so much recently, where it's like, what can I do to help those who feel like they can't do these things right now,
Mhm.
right? Like, they can't speak out in a way or be too visible.
Yeah.
So how can we maybe bring things to them in quiet ways and still serve and offer something? And yeah, the whole time you've been doing this, it's just been like, man, this is such a beautiful way to show up in service for these communities and people. And so I guess I just want to say also, like, thank you for doing that.
You're welcome. Thank you. You're welcome. Mm.
What do you think? I mean, yeah, you just started established this nonprofit now and gonna do all of this. What do you have a plan? Do you have a like next thing that's coming, or something that you haven't shared yet that might be coming soon? You don't have to if you're not ready to share it, but yeah.
Well, planning a launch event. I have some things to
Yeah.
work on behind the scenes, but definitely a launch event to make it a really, really, really big deal. And I have a, I guess I can share, a bilingual meditation deck, and it's
Oh,
gonna be so good. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. That's all I can share. It's not out yet, but it
great,
will.
great.
It's in the
Yeah.
works. It's happening, and so that'll be on the store as well. And yeah, all these beautiful things coming up. I have some more ideas. I have a book idea, actually, several book ideas. I just need to like clone myself or find several assistants because I have a million ideas of all the
Yeah.
things I want to do to reach this goal, right? But it's just
Yeah.
me right now. Well, I do
I
have a
mean,
little bit of
and as you are still raising three children
right,
and doing all of these things, it's like, this is, yeah,
yeah,
that's a lot.
and I'm a Girl Scout troop leader as well, and
Oh
I'm
my
the
gosh.
so yeah, and a room parent at the school and
Oh
all
my
these other
God.
things. So I have some other roles too, but um, yeah, and at the
Yeah.
same time, is like take a deep breath, whatever I can do, it's
Hmm.
okay. And you know what? I'm gonna take a nap, and it's okay. And pace myself. It's not a race. It's not a race, and
Yeah.
reminding myself it's at my own pace. And
Yeah.
it's been helpful, to have this new mindset of how I go about things, about my life, about decision making.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask one more quick question before we get into the next part. But before all of this, so you grew up in Texas. You went to school in Texas as
Mhm.
well?
Born and raised.
And sorry?
Born and raised.
Yeah, born and raised. And then I feel like I remember you saying, and I wonder if there's a connection and a thread here. Did you study psychology?
No, I mean I took a
No.
class,
Why did I
but
feel like? Oh, you
right.
just started. Okay.
Mhm.
Why did I think that you studied that for some reason? Maybe it's just something I made up because I was like, oh, this makes sense that she would have studied psychology and then like gotten into all of this stuff. Okay.
It was an
Yeah.
interesting class. I really enjoyed it, but I ended up being a business major.
Yeah. Me too. So many of us. Yes. Well, yes, I also want to say again, like, thank you for all you're doing. And we are, your episode is really kind of wrapping up this season where people have shared so many things of their lives and their upbringings and, how their Latinidad like shows up in so many different ways, whether it's through the media that we consume or just like our family dynamics and language and all of these things. And a theme that I didn't know that this was going to come up, but I feel like something that kept coming up was these times where people felt just like really lonely in their lives, right?
Mhm.
And that being kind of like the trigger or the catapult for creating something, building community, finding community, changing something in their lives because they were just like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I can't just feel lonely. How can I connect with people? And I think that that is such a human thing, right? Like to need community and want to find community. And in these conversations, it's been, people sharing these amazing processes that they've gone through and like this self-discovery through building community and
Mhm.
finding those spaces and the people and connecting with people on this really big deep like human level. And yeah, it's just again, it was something I had no idea that was going to be something that so many people brought up in these conversations, but it has been consistently something that people bring up. With that, as you kind of like wrapping up this season in our guest episodes, you have a little offering for us too of a meditation for us to kind of go through, and I'll let you take it away. And I'm here also to, like, if there's guided anything that we need to do with guiding the conversation. But this is maybe something that's going to be a little bit of a recurring theme on this, or thing on this podcast too. You know, last season, Joan closed out the season with her somatic practices that she shared with us, and also gifted us a whole recording. And here we are, the end of season 2, and you're gifting us with this beautiful little like meditation tool and practice. And so maybe this is something that we can all start expecting from this podcast in the future. And as I build out more things with this, more platforms for folks to connect, yeah, because there are a lot of you healers, and a lot of you healers in my life who show up, and so you all have amazing, beautiful gifts to share with the world.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Okay, so once again, if you are driving, operating any sort of equipment or machinery, or doing anything that really requires your full attention, please jump ahead about 10 minutes to the hour and 15-minute mark in this episode. Skip the meditation, come back to it later because it is lovely, and enjoy the rest of the episode. And if you are not doing any of those things, please enjoy these next 10 minutes of quiet and meditation.
Let's settle into your space. Pónganse cómodos. And let's take a big breath in. Inhala profundo. Exhale, exhala. Big breath in. Inhala profundo, filling up your tummy. Gently exhale, exhala lentamente. And one more time, big breath in. Inhala profundo. And on your exhale, sigh it out, exhalando con la boca abierta, que salga todo ese aire estancado, all that stagnant air. You don't need it anymore, no lo necesitas. And continue breathing at your own pace. Continúa respirando a tu propio ritmo. And I invite you to ask yourself the 4 soul questions. Who am I? ¿Quién soy yo? And just ask yourself in your mind, haz la pregunta en tu mente. Who am I? ¿Quién soy yo? And without forcing any answer, receive whatever answer comes up. Sin esforzar una respuesta. Que salga la respuesta necesaria. And now, second question. What do I want? Ask yourself, what do I want? ¿Qué es lo que quiero? ¿Qué es lo que quiero? Without forcing any answer, sin esforzar una respuesta. And now ask yourself, what is my purpose? Y ahora hazte la pregunta, ¿qué es mi propósito? What is my purpose? ¿Qué es mi propósito? ¿O cuál es mi propósito? And now the 4th question, what am I grateful for? Y ahora la 4ª pregunta, ¿de qué estoy agradecido? What am I grateful for? ¿De qué estoy agradecido? And now gently shifting and repeating in your mind, say I am, your first name and last name. Ahora continuando repitiendo, yo soy, tu primer nombre y tu apellido. Y repítelo algunas veces, repeat it a few times. And now letting go of your last name, ahora dejando tu apellido, and only say I am in your first name. Ahora solo repite yo soy y tu primer nombre. And repeat it a few times, repítelo unas veces. And now letting go of your first name, dejando tu primer nombre, and say I am. And repeat it a few times, yo soy, y repítelo unas veces. And now letting go of I am, dejando yo soy, and gently shifting to aham, aham, which is a vibration of I am, que es la vibración de yo soy. Aham, aham. And repeat it a few times. Repítelo unas veces. And gently letting go of aham, lentamente dejando ir a aham. Y repite el mantra soham, soham. Repitiendo el mantra soham. And use this mantra every time you have a thought in your mind, a distraction, a sensation in your body. Gently come back to soham, soham. And keep repeating soham. Ahora vas a repetir el mantra soham. Cuando tengas un pensamiento, una distracción, una sensación en el cuerpo, regresa al mantra soham, soham. Y lo vas a continuar repitiéndolo. Yo voy a estar atenta al tiempo y te aviso cuando pares de decirlo. I will mind the time and I'll let you know when to stop. Gently stop repeating your mantra. Dejen de repetir el mantra. And just rest for a moment. Descansa un momento. Just rest in existence. Descansando en la existencia. Resting in presence. Resting in I. Descansando en la presencia. Descansando en el yo. And let's set intentions for a happy, healthy, harmonious life. Vamos a hacer unas intenciones para una vida de alegría, armonía y amor. Energetic body. And just repeat it in your mind. Y ahora repite cuerpo energético. Solo repítelo en tu mente. Loving, compassionate heart. Corazón con amor y compasión. Reflective, alert mind. mente alerta y reflectiva, lightness of being, ligereza del ser. And gently start bringing some movement to your body. Lentamente vamos a comenzar a mover nuestro cuerpo. Inhalando un poquito más profundo, deepening your breath. Bringing your palms to your heart center, poniendo las palmas de sus manos al centro de su corazón. As we say the blessing, Namaste. Y decimos la bendición, Namaste. The light in me sees the beautiful light in you. La luz en mí ve la linda, hermosa luz en ti. Thank you. Gracias.
Thank you so much, Yvonne. That was beautiful. Yeah, thank you. And that's just a sample of what Yvonne does, folks. So if you want more, go find her. She will be tagged in all of the social posts for this, and I will put her info in the show notes as well. But yeah, thank you so much for sharing that, Yvonne. And I have never done that meditation before. So thank you. That's very special.
Thank you. And the silence
And
part goes a little longer, but I know we're short on time.
yeah.
But I'll definitely be sharing a longer version and all my stuff. And so that way we can dive in deeper and really get that restful awareness that our body is yearning for. So thank you so much. Thank you
Yeah.
to your listeners who are open, to listening and taking a
Yes.
pause together in community. So yes, thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much, Yvonne. And thank you for listening. These are our other stories. My name is Madeline Longoria Garcia, and you can stream this podcast on your favorite listening app: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, AntennaPod, YouTube. You can find it everywhere. Please subscribe and leave a review. I have a little bit of that meditation brain now. It's moving a little bit slower, which is great. But and let us know what you think. And I hope you have enjoyed this season as much as the first, and have had the opportunity to listen and share. So thank you for being here, and have a great day.